The ModernJeeper Show, the show about Jeeps, Jeeping, and Jeepers.
Well, hey, Modern Jeepers, it's Matson from MetalCloak with another episode of the ModernJeeper Show. Mr. ModernJeeper Corey Osborne, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy, what's going on?
Well, it's been like we just saw you guys in Rockstar Jeep Girl Jessy.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because we don't really do this where like I saw you guys this morning.
Yes.
What's really funny is that you are actually in a later time zone than I am now. So we've swapped.
How's that
weird,
feel?
huh? Yeah. I stayed around in Tennessee. By the way, I'll say it out front. Pigeon Forge, the Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. It's just freaking incredible. It
is, and it's I think we're still we're just delirious from we were driving today and thinking about what the last 3.5 weeks have been like, and it's hard to even like keep track of it and then think of all the little instances and all of the stuff and all of the things. And I mean,
we
so
left
many
a long time ago.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it.
Like a month ago. Yeah.
Right. Well, I got a simple taste of what your guys' life is like, and it's a simple taste, but
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. It was a lot of fun, though. I got to say, hanging out with Philip and Curtis and Will and David, and you're all the friends, just hanging out at the condo. Philip, I'm going to say it on national podcast, makes incredible tacos.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The man can cook.
Yes, he can.
And everybody, it's kind of fun because everybody kind of chips in and everybody does their part. And, without a family of folks that do that like that, we wouldn't be able to get through a weekend like we had. I mean, think about it. We had 6 people there for this event. And it takes that for this event. I mean, it is a big event.
To continuously do it in the heat that we endure, yes.
Yeah. Right. Well, that was the thing. It's got the heat and the humidity, right? And it's like I walked in on an already existing system because, for all of our friends out there, I get there Friday morning. They've already gone through this Thursday. I walk in and I see a system in play because there's all of a sudden, Will and Philip go in and tag team out Jesse and Corey because it's just too hot. And then go in a bit. It was a good switch off. Great setup. Lots of people. For all of you out there listening that came by and said hi, by the way, thank you. I was flattered. People wanted to come and take a photo with me and come and shake my hand and say hi. I mean, we're just
welcome to the life.
we're just humble people that are blessed to be able to have a job that has to do with what we do with off-roading and jeeping and things we love. So it's nothing special, just people enjoying ourselves and blessed to be in a position. So thank you to all of you. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you. So I should be taking pictures with all of you. I want a selfie with you. I want to put you on my wall.
Right.
It's just it's funny to go to a place like that and you get to see and be with all of the people who support us. The customer base that we see there is amazing. Mm-hmm. And, it's fun to actually get to put faces with names. And I tell everybody that we usually meet, like it's going to take me probably, 6 or 7 times for me to remember that. But it's just incredible. And it's so cool to have people come by and go, hey, we listen to the podcast, or we watch you guys, we follow you guys. So it's fun. It makes our job worthwhile for sure.
And thanks for everybody coming out and being respectful, especially of our time. And as hot as it is out there, and you guys stick with us, sit in your Jeeps, and it's hot for you guys too. We just thank you for being patient with us while we're working our butts off.
Right.
Well, that's the deal. And if you think about it, there's estimates 25,000, something like that. I think was what I heard for the PD. People out there all coming. So I'm going to try to describe this. from a newbie, because Corey has described this over the years. I'm going to try to describe it to you guys from a newbie perspective. Okay. Take the biggest parking lot you've ever seen in your life. Scratch that. Take a couple of football fields. All right. Fill those football fields with Jeeps. Then all those Jeep enthusiasts around there, right? Now take a training center like the football field, put another football field and call that like where the vendors are at. Like that gives you a sense of just how much was there. And it's even harder to describe that because every street corner around there, every sidewalk, every side hill, if there was a place to park a Jeep, there was a Jeep parked. Okay. And it's like, and it was sure there was a legitimate parking lot. There was a great show and shine that was absolutely packed full, which is where Corey and Jessy were at with the CTI trailer. There was a constant line of people for the CTI trailer, of course, but down on the roads, if there was a corner, if there was a patch of grass, there was a Jeep parked on it. If there was an empty lot, it was full of Jeeps. If it was, everywhere
on
to the
road.
point where the road. I mean, there's a 4-lane road, 2 ways going, 222 going under this bridge. This is a walkway. And there's just Jeeps and Jeeps and Jeeps, a little car, Jeeps, a truck, Jeeps. I mean, it was Jeep and every type. I mean, talk about a modern Jeeper experience. It was every type of Jeep. I don't care what the build was for, from stock to rock to overland to mall crawler to
monster truck things.
I mean, 40-inch tires on a 10-inch lift and 22-inch wheels on a 2.5-inch lift. I mean, it was just everything you could think of, and everybody out there was cool. I mean, that was the thing, is everybody out there was cool. And if there was any asshats, it probably had to do with the heat more than anything else.
Right. I mean, and you think about this, like at any given time, of course, there are still people that are out eating lunch or out driving around town. They're experiencing everything else that Pigeon Forge has to offer. So the amount of people, it's just incredible. And Pigeon Forge does such a good job of being able to support those kind of sheer volume numbers where there's tons of strip malls, tons of places to eat, tons of shopping outlets, like, and then there's all the adventure stuff, the dinner shows, you can go. I mean, just Gatlinburg is close by with all of their adventure park stuff. Like, it's just incredible.
It's a good destination, and I think Justin talked about having over 10,000 people or more, maybe Jeeps. I don't remember. He had
25,000.
Yeah. So they sold out of tickets every day.
Yeah. Every day. Yeah, it's incredible. And that is what from last year, double, triple,
30% increase from last year.
Yeah.
And it was busy last year too. Yeah. And a lot hotter. So a
lot more vendors too. Like I think it seemed there was quite a few vendors. This is their first year checking it out. Because we talked before about the cycle of events, and Eastern Jeep Safari has gone through this cycle of events. Jeep Beach went through the cycle of events. There's a bell curve, and right now we're seeing Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion start. They're climbing the bell curve, getting towards that top.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do back with we're out of the last 2 years of being kind of suppressed in events and that kind of thing, and people still want to get out. And most of the events we've been to this year have been bigger than they've been in the past. And I think that there's more enthusiasts. They want to touch things. They want to see. They want examples to see what other people are doing and how they're building their rigs. We talked to I don't know how many vendors who ran out of product, and this is a selling event. And people brought more than they ever expected to sell and got rid of all of it. So
right. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I saw the money. I mean, when I walked through, I saw the money going out. Right. And all of you, you guys are great patrons. And it's absolutely awesome when you're going out to an event like that and you actually are opening up your pocketbook, because these vendors came there to support and be able to show off stuff. And the fact that they're able to sell their product there, it's just great for everybody.
Yeah, it truly is. It's The odd thing I was thinking about today. So again, on the drive out today, I was rewinding the last number of weeks in our head, and it's kind of funny because when you're during our West Virginia trip, somebody had said it felt like, I mean, it was only 3 nights and 4 days, but it felt like we were out there for a week. And it was because a lot of times when we don't have cell service, it's amazing when you're actually present for an experience, when you can't reach out, when you can't look at social media every 3 seconds and go, oh, I wonder who's doing what, or I should be putting up these pictures. When you ditch that, you put it aside, and you are present in the moment and doing something that you love, it's amazing how things slow down. And I kind of feel like in the last 3 weeks, I don't know, the industry they could have stopped manufacturing Jeeps, and I'm not sure we'd know about it. Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of funny to be out of touch a little bit when you're present doing something and you're having a good time doing it. They slow down a bunch.
They do. Oh, remember, COVID hit while we were out having fun.
Right.
Remember,
That's right.
On Death Valley, come back and go, what's
yeah,
this thing going on?
What happened?
Yeah.
What's
the world
going
can
on?
happen around you. And it's okay because it happens around you, and we just move
That's
forward.
right.
And we do the fun things that we love to do. So, Pigeon Forge. I'm going to tell a story now, though.
Okay.
I'm going to tell a story. I'll tell a story because I'm talking about the police officer, right? And
Right.
it's kind of interesting because Jeepers in general, now in Pigeon Forge, and what I learned talking to this police officer is they do a lot of car shows out there, and truck shows, car shows, different things. And generally speaking, they have problems and incidents. They have shootings. They've had shootings, fights, all that kind of stuff that just comes with that car culture. With the Jeep group, they had so many people out there, so many Jeeps, 25,000, whatever, not enough officers for it because they hadn't planned for that many people. But the flip side of that was they didn't have the problems. And so
Right.
God bless all of you Jeepers out there for maintaining the Jeep lifestyle, maintaining the belief that we have that Jeepers are just good people. And we're good to each other, and we're there to constantly help. Whether it is the fact that after we are all wrapped up with our CTI event, Corey and I stuck around, mainly Corey. I didn't want to abandon him. So it was Corey's initiative. I was happy to help, but it really was Corey's initiative and drive and desire to help somebody that we stuck around for another hour and a half or so when somebody had an engine that wouldn't start. Just do what we can to do to help, because that's what we do as Jeepers. Anyway, to my story. So this police officer is telling us that he's only had one major incident during this period of time. Only one. And that major incident had to do with the stealing of some statues. Now, I still haven't seen what these statues are, but in the town of Pigeon Forge, there's these giant statues, and they're in the ground 3 or 4 feet, and they're like big things that just go throughout the town. And I guess they have planter boxes or something like that. And the only incident they had was 2 of those being stolen. 2 of them being stolen. Okay, fine, it happened. But it happens to be a felony when these are stolen. It's felony theft. So they go through the process of trying to figure out who it is. Now, of course, lots of Jeeps out there. Listen, guys, we live in a world where if you do anything, I don't care what you're doing, whether it's in the privacy of your own room or out in the street, you're probably being watched by a camera. So just live it. My uncle told me in the late 80s I should live my life as if a camera's following me. I didn't always see it as advice, but today you should be living your life as if a camera's following you, because there's cameras everywhere. And so these thieves in their Jeep are caught on camera. Okay, cool. So the cops, they follow it through. They do all the stuff they need to do. They find where these thieves are staying. And a little cabin, one of these rental cabins up there, because a bunch of these amazing cabins up and great places to rent up in Pigeon Forge. So they're at a cabin. They go up to the cabin, knock on the door, start having a conversation with the attendees of the cabin, with the thieves. In doing so, they really don't want to make this into a felony incident. They're trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. And the officer talking to me was one of the officers that was involved in this, because they're trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Like, you know what, just give us back the statues, admit you did it, mea culpa, whatever. we'll put it down as I think he was going to call it like vandalism or just, property damage, something. And it'll be a little misdemeanor, little write a ticket for you. Will be forgotten about. No big deal. Because he didn't, quite frankly, he doesn't want to do the paperwork for something bigger than that. They refused to help. They absolutely refused. So he's like, fine, well, if this is what you're going to be and you're going to push back on this stuff, then you're going to jail. So these 3 guys get arrested. Turns out it's 3 guys in their Jeep. They get arrested. They get the statues back and all this stuff. They get arrested. They take them down to the precinct. Turns out it's 2 cops and a firefighter. 2 cops
Incredible.
and a firefighter from up here in the Jeep world get arrested. I probably shouldn't even say it.
Now they have no job.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. But this is this type of stuff that happens. It's absolutely ridiculous that these 2 cops and a firefighter are the only guys who create an incident.
Right.
Out of all the Jeepers out there. Now, I consider that phenomenal. I mean, let's face it. Modern Jeepers are all about coming together, being friendly, helping each other, waving, and everything else. And I'm not even going to start talking. We'll talk about ducks in a few minutes. But, oh, my God. I mean, come on. I thought it was funny. Yeah. I thought it was hilarious that these 2 guys did it. It's too bad they did it. But at least it almost satisfies you that they were that stupid and not just an average Jeeper going out there and getting drunk and pulling some stuff out.
Well, and again, for something like that to, like you said, the only incident, and it happens to be from people that are in law enforcement, is just it's sad. It's really sad, actually. And we're not trying to throw that out there like it's. We're not saying bad things that all law enforcement people have this tendency
no, not at
like
all.
that.
No, in fact, they put a bad light on everybody.
But what's funny is they know better. Like they know what will happen to them. You lose your pension, you lose your job. You can't.
Yes.
Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you try to, and who knows how old they were? Maybe who knows? Recent graduates in the academies, who knows? But what it comes down to is you guys, you Jeepers, all of you that attended out there, you did a phenomenal job. You represented Jeeping fantastically, greatly, amazingly, and we appreciate you.
Yes.
Maybe they just needed they needed a duck, is what they needed.
Oh, you got pictures of all the ducks.
They didn't get any ducks.
They didn't get
so
any
wait
ducks.
for the montage of all the windshield shots for ducks. It was insane.
Yeah, there was for the folks out there we've talked about this in recent podcasts that it makes them upset and they're over it and they don't want any ducks. And you know what? Guess what? There's more ducks in the world than
there are. And it put a smile on every face that I saw. So you can't say it's not a good thing. Even though I don't want a bunch of ducks in my Jeep. They're all on the windows in the garage at home. But we like them too. It's nice. We got a ton.
Well, people are really creative with the little customized ducks. There's all kinds of
the Trump duck is the best.
Yeah, we saw the Trump duck. I mean, that morning that it had poured down rain at night or whatever, and the LJ had a bunch of water on the hood, and I came out the next morning, and there was a duck that had a snorkel and little diving goggles and a floaty, and he was on the hood, and I thought, you know what, that's perfect. Like, it's just fitting. Yeah.
I mean, vendors were selling ducks, which I just thought was incredible. There were ducks who had ducks. There were giant ducks. There were giant ducks that were like the size of a roof of a Jeep strapped to the top of a Jeep. There were ducks as passengers. There were ducks all over. There were tiny ducks. There were and I'm telling you guys, if you haven't seen entire dashboard, 4 inches, 5 inches of ducks piled on the dashboard.
Piled high.
Just piled. Right. And in talking to some people like, oh yeah, that's like maybe 25% of the ducks I have. The others are all sitting in the bucket back in the garage. I'm like, wow. I mean, I didn't get it. I didn't get it because ducks are kind of cool. And I thought the story was great. And we're going to have the lady who started the DuckDuckGo on our podcast, I think pretty soon here, now that it's just like blown my mind. But that was just craziness. I mean, the fact people were giving ducks away left and right. There was a lady standing on the walkway bridge as Jeeps were driving by underneath her. And if you had your top off, she was saying, "Hey, ducking you," and dropping a duck.
The top of your Jeep.
Over the top, over the overpass.
Yeah. Not if you had your top off.
Well, they do beads in New Orleans. They do ducks in Pigeon Forge, okay? I don't know. There could have been some with the top off. I mean, I didn't see that myself. But yes, if you had the top
our kickoff party,
or if you had an opening there, she would drop it down.
Well, yeah. Oh,
yeah, the kickoff party. That was cool too. Jeremy Rowe.
Yeah, and shout out to Hard Rock.
Haley, the manager, did an awesome job this year.
Yeah, a lot different than last year. Last year we were pretty frustrated. Jeremy Rowe, watching him evolve and become the musician that he is, and to see his personality on stage start to change and evolve, and he's such a great entertainer. I think the folks that did come out and that we got to see inside were blown away. I mean, I think he did.
There were
great
little
job.
kids dancing, hugging on Jeremy. I think I won one of the CDs and he gave it to me, and I already have the CD. So I gave it to one of the little girls. The little girl standing over there. Her dad came back over to my table, and she gave me one of those little freshies. They're called freshies. I don't know if you know what freshies are. They're like little decorative shaped. You can make any of them into like air fresheners. They're called freshies. So it had a duck with the 7 slots and the headlights on it. And she came and gave it to me and told me, "Thank you for the CD." So, Rockstar's on the cover of the CD. So, of course, I had to point out, I said, "There's my Jeep." And she was just so excited. It was a good time.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Jeremy did awesome.
Yeah, and then the guy, so he doesn't want to stay. He's got a new baby at home as well. He, after his set, turned around and drove back to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Wow.
We helped pack him up, and he went back. He got home. I think he texted me.
About 24 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He stopped and slept in the Jeep and went back home. He's got a new baby,
Wow. Yeah. Makes sense. So now, just so people understand, you're talking about the kickoff party. This is like the big event that gets the whole thing going. So when does that usually happen?
Wednesday night.
Oh, it was Wednesday night? Okay. And
Wednesday night. So how long did it go? So people start showing up at the parking lot at like 10 o'clock in the morning, so they can have parking spots, and they kind of tailgate all day out in front of the Hard Rock. Jeremy took the stage at 6 and played till like 8-ish, 9-ish, something like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was packed.
And that was partly sponsored by MetalCloak. Is that how it worked, or?
Yeah,
absolutely. Yep.
I don't know. They just tell me to, I don't know about these things. So,
we just checkbook and it's all good.
Hey, you're sponsoring this, okay? Kind of like when Aaron comes to me and says,
"Sounds good.
Hey, we're gonna sponsor a little girls softball team or something." I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's funny because the kickoff party, which was almost a week ago now, seems like it was a month ago.
Yeah.
The days have all run together now, and I couldn't tell you where I'm at or what day it is.
I think I woke up asking what day it was one day.
Yeah.
I literally didn't know what day it was.
It's just kind of funny because I'm actually in a hotel room in Tennessee. You guys are in a hotel room in Missouri?
Outside of Missouri, yeah.
Yeah, outside of Missouri. So and it's like usually like you guys will catch me either in the office, someplace, house or whatever. But that's the first time I think I've been in a hotel room on this podcast.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. What's funny is we're both in hotel rooms.
I know.
How odd is that?
This would be fun. This is the fun life. We're always just going to go travel all over the place, and Yeah, I miss my kids, but I want to get back home too, just like Jeremy Rowe. I got another day out here, then I fly out tomorrow night. And then I go back to my just doing stuff for the office. You guys, on the other hand, are on your way back, and you got San Juan's.
Yeah.
Yep. San Juan trip. I literally I'm trying
to
not
look at the calendar.
I had to look at the calendar like 4 times and go,
What
really?
day is it?
Is that really coming up that soon?
Yeah, because Philip left and was like, "I'll see you Saturday." I'm like,
yeah, what? Why?
But
I'm not
that's
coming
like in a
back to
week.
Tennessee.
What?
No, I'm coming to Colorado. Oh. Yeah, in fact, let me pull up the calendar here real quick.
Oh God.
Because September is a little
Crazy.
nutty. I mean, we have right after the Colorado adventure, we also have the Palo Duro Challenge down outside of Amarillo.
Is that the next weekend or
got,
what?
Yeah, it's the weekend. It's 2 weeks after the Colorado adventure.
Okay.
We've also got a potential event this year, a new event in Moab, the Moab Expo, which that's not a for sure yet, but we'll let our listeners know what that looks like. Yeah, I mean, it just, again, it's been such a crazy season. It just keeps rolling forward, and it's a good thing because the folks that follow us and want to know more about cool places to go wheel or how their Jeep flexes on the CTI trailer. I mean, it's why we're out there and why we're helping share that passion. It just, I'll apologize beforehand when we get so busy. Sometimes I think people feel maybe, well, gosh, you came right through here and you didn't stop. Well, sometimes it's because our schedule is pretty pressed, and
and
at
we'd
some
love
point
to stop and see everybody. Trust me, but
Yeah.
it doesn't always work out.
So next year,
point,
2023, Corey and Jessy will not be going home at all. They will be simply traveling the entire country, stopping individually at every single shop that they can and every club they can. Sometime around
Who
Christmas
wants to
time,
go
they
to
will
the
be
house
back
and water
home.
my plants?
yeah.
So
Looking
we're
for a
looking for
house
volunteers to house sit while he's gone.
It's a beautiful view of the mountains. Just saying.
It's all good. It's all good.
Some people, some people do, that's their life, but you guys are on the road enough. What, 300 days a year, you think?
Yeah. This year will be interesting. We've been home. We've had some good breaks in between, which is thank goodness, because the TLC, everybody thinks that, well, your Jeeps are sure put together well, and well, it takes a lot of time in between all of this to actually kind of fix things. And yeah, it's time for the CTI trailer still needs a little bit of TLC. That generator's about due for an overhaul or replacement. Everything from oil changes.
Anybody have a Honda generator? Give us a call.
That's quiet.
Send an email to Corey@MetalCloak.com.
Great. Yes.
Yeah, hit us up. 6500. Looking for a 6500 Honda. But no, everything from oil changes to simple nut and bolt checks and all that kind of stuff. It does take time. We're going to start working on Jesse's Jeep here over the next few months. So
stay tuned for that, because we have a lot of content coming for that. So
for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. That'll be cool. Now you're going to have to do it in a dark space so that the glow of the paint doesn't mess up with the camera lens.
Yeah, we can't use any lights because it'll be way too bright.
Yeah, totally.
It'll just be all blown out.
Yeah.
There were a couple of high velocity Jeeps out there at Pigeon Forge, and I was super excited to see those out. So I don't know if you got to see one up close yet. I think you did.
I have seen one up close. I haven't seen one up. Yeah, I have seen one up close. But it's kind of interesting. You mentioned that. I saw this trend, and you've seen it kind of on the forums where there's the pumpkin group, and then there's guys celebrating the colors and having a camaraderie based on their color. But we had the one group that was the Tuscadero, whatever.
The Tuscadero.
The Jeep.
The Tuscadero, and they had all the purple Jeeps, right? And as I was driving in one morning from our place down the hill, there was you got to the main road.
Blue Jeeps.
The blue Jeeps, yeah.
I
There was a
saw
whole
that. They
blue
were taking
Jeep
a group
club down
picture
there.
of all
Like
the
they were
blue
planning, they
Jeeps.
were trying to fill the entire parking lot with blue Jeeps. It's like
Yeah.
it's kind of cool. This whole camaraderie based on Jeep color.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. We're already like-minded individuals because of just the Jeep thing. And now it's like, well, wait a minute. We're gonna segregate each other off and base it on color.
Yeah,
Kind of
'cause
fun.
I got pumpkin, you got blue. We're gonna rumble.
Right. Right.
Well, now you got to decorate your pumpkin Jeep. So I want to see the upgrades on
Oh
it.
yes. I wish I should have brought it up there. It's sitting in the car right now. It's the little,
Nice.
but got a little pumpkin Jeep. I'm gonna have to like put some tiny decals on it.
You gotta find a way to put a suspension
3D
on
print a
it,
rack on it,
colored
and
the
it's-
gray,
yeah.
and you need all the yeah. I want to see it evolve. We'll see.
You want to see it evolve? Yeah. Well,
Take it to the engineers and go make it look like mine.
The thing is, they would drop everything and
Yes.
just do it because it's such a
That
fun
would be
project.
hilarious.
And then I'd be like, somebody would come to me and go, Mike, who runs our engineering department, would be like,
Why am my guys not getting
why have
anything
we got
done? Why
no
are they
new
playing
products
with
out
toys?
this week? What's going on? Because my little Jeep. I mean, priorities,
Yeah.
guys.
That's right. That's right.
It's all Jesse's fault. It really is.
I know. I give you a new project to do.
Don't you know I'm not a project guy? Like,
I know.
they just sit and they just pile up. And there's a section of my garage where the kids break something and the wife hands it to me and says, "Fix it." And it goes over in the corner. So and then one day I get to them and I go, "Okay, now I'm going to just tackle them all." Okay, and they work. But otherwise, they just go over here. They just get piled up in these little broken statues and things that shouldn't have been in a place where the kids could have got to them anyway. Love you, dear.
Wait till you find new stuff in there you didn't know about. Your kids will get smart. I'm just saying.
Great, thanks.
It's just a pro tip,
Yeah, that's okay. I'm the same. I'm already the same way. Like, oops, that got broken. Let's put it away before mommy sees it.
Yep.
Nobody needs to hear that tonight. It's funny because one of our customers came by and he was talking about how listening to the podcast, he just feels like he really knows us, and it is kind of interesting because I listen to a lot of podcasts and many of them are straight up interviews, and some of them they get very personal, others don't. And I just love our format because we just chat. And I think if people have listened to the 180, this will be I think episode 181. Those they know a lot about us, and they definitely know a lot about me. They know my pitfalls, my foibles, my problems, my challenges, my limitations, and it's just fun. Well,
and again, I can't imagine doing this any other way. I mean, our schedules are so busy, and we're both passionate about such similar things, and the Jeeping camaraderie that goes along with it makes what we do like why we do it. I mean, I was thinking about the new stuff that I've seen at the show, and it's kind of funny because this year I didn't feel like I got a chance to really go around and look for any of that stuff. I mean, there were some of the show and shine rigs. I tell you, there's some old rigs that are coming out of the woodwork that are done extremely well. And
yes.
I think that's very interesting. The older stuff coming out that's done very nicely kind of overpowers. You can have the baddest, biggest built new Jeep that anybody's ever seen, but you wheel out some of the stuff from either the 70s or later. That time period seems to be kind of a key. There were some really cool Jeeps around, and these show and shines bring those guys out, and it's
nice
phenomenal
to see the old rigs restored. Totally.
Well,
for sure.
Well, especially, and I personally love the old rigs with modern suspension, modern tech, where they preserve everything about it except the engine's running better, more efficient. The leaf springs are gone, right? All these little things that they've done to them to make them just feel and wheel better, and better seats, and to me, I love that. I love there's a certain value to just preserving something stock and restoring it completely to stock, but there's also that taking it to the next level where you get to enjoy all the nostalgia while still feeling safe, for lack of a better, right? You feel safe, you feel comfortable. People can drive it and drive it well. And it, especially when you get guys that put like big engines, but they haven't changed up the suspension, they haven't changed all that. That just seems sketchy to me. That seems a little not quite safe, right?
Yeah, totally. It's funny. As long as we've had the CTI trailer on the road, I still get, I don't know how many people we had on the trailer that say, 3 or 4 years ago when I had it on the trailer and I saw you last event, and it could have been 3-4 years ago, it could have been last year, and you told me to do all those things and I still haven't done any of them. But what I did do is I did change I got new tires, or I put new doors on it, and I always scratch my head and go, so those are really simple things. And some of these guys with these older rigs, they've made some significant changes. And it doesn't have to be all for how much flex you get out of it. I mean, I don't know. It's funny to me, the choices that people will make and where they'll spend their money, I guess, is where I'm going. It's lockers before light bars, right? And I think that
not out there.
That is
not
I think it's changed.
It's changed in the last.
You'd be
couple
surprised.
Years.
You'd be surprised. There's half as many light bars out there as there were.
Well, no, they're just
that's all we made fun of.
But grill inserts, changing grills, angry grills, grumpy grills,
footsteps, foot pedals,
foot pegs. Oh my gosh. The amount of foot pegs, and crazy lights. I had a guy following me who had like red, white, and blue lights, but they were done in a pattern on his like headlights where it was just constantly circling on me. And I'm like trying to drive and not see that in the rear view mirror and not get like a little
go into a seizure. Yeah.
But you have this red, white, and blue lights going around and around and around and around and around. It is. They're definitely. There's a lot of bling, and
a lot of bling,
and it's different though. It's different than Florida bling, because Florida bling is like, I want to color match everything. I'm going to embroider it into the head of my seat, my seat. Everything be color matched. Those, and that there's a Florida thing. These guys, of course, are all over. We had people from Illinois, from Ohio, from Missouri,
everywhere,
Virginia, everywhere. These bills are different, and every one of them is different, but there's not a real theme to it. It's just like they're just trying to make it their own, but they like the bling.
Yes.
And the ducks.
It's funny. This event has folks from all aspects of the industry. There are people that do a lot of rock crawling and a lot of extreme wheeling, and then there's the overlanders, and then there's the mall crawlers, and it is very diverse, and I think that's what we like about the event the most, is it's super diverse. I mean, what else can you ask for when you can put all those people together and everybody gets along and can have conversations, and
a lot of 392s.
A lot of 392s. Oh, here's one for you. More manual transmissions than I've ever seen in 3 days on the trailer.
It's because they drive them on the road more. I mean, really, if I had a fast Jeep or a Jeep I didn't necessarily wheel all the time, I'd probably have standard.
Why? You wouldn't want a Jeep that was, if you drove it on the road all the time, you'd want an automatic.
Well, I don't have kids in the house anymore, so that was different too.
It's funny. I mean, our Cloak 3 was a stick shift when we got it, and it was a Rubicon stick shift, kind of a rarity. And I loved it because I had the power curve, and it had that old 3.8, but I could drive that 3.8 like it was a 3.6 or even more because of the power curve and controlling it with a stick. You can't do that with the automatics. I don't care, even with the paddle shifters, you just can't do that. So I've always appreciated it, but it's a much different wheeling experience too. I love a stick going downhill. I love the engine compression. I don't like a stick going uphill, right? I don't care what uphill is. I don't care if it's the streets of San Francisco. I don't like a stick going uphill, right?
Yeah, it was very bizarre. I mean, out west, we see the majority of folks driving automatics, and it was just I mean, gosh, I'll bet 3 out of 5 rigs were manual transmissions, and it's just
Weird.
rare. It was weird.
Yeah.
That is weird. That is weird. And they kind of sometimes have a little bit harder time getting on the trailer too, because especially if they don't have a power band.
And then there's that aspect.
Yeah, and then I mean, we did smell a lot of burning clutch for large parts of the day, but it's all part of the the experience, right?
We should start having burnout contests
or burn up contests.
Burn it.
Who can burn up their clutch the quickest?
Yes.
Burnout.
Or like me, who can smoke his cat the fastest.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, smoking cats is weird because it's hard to get them to fit in the paper.
Oh, goodness.
But if you shave them just right. But
okay, and
so yeah, I mean, I've burned up 2 cats on my TJ because I just drive it so hard. It's thick. Yeah, it's you get into it one day and you go, what's that smell?
Oh, it's that smell.
It's me making a black cat.
Yeah, black cat. And it's not even Black Cat Appreciation Week.
That's right. It's not a firework or anything like that.
Yes. So
I might be a little delirious. Like I said, I'm still kind of. I feel like I'm recovering from the last 3 weeks. Literally, my brain is still. I'm still driving down the road somewhere.
Our brains are like the little sign at the Moxie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what my
At the
brain
Moxie
feels
Hotel,
like.
you walk in and it's like an old sign from a railroad station that changes like departed, canceled, whatever before they went digital.
Yes. Yeah.
Except
That's
it
my
has
brain.
these clever statements that if you sit there and wait long enough for it, you might actually see it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can't remember a damn thing it's been saying the last 3 days. Yeah, I was actually, by the way, guys, we're recording this Monday night. So if anything happens between Monday and Thursday, sorry, you ain't going to hear about it from us because we're recording this Monday night. The event ended on Saturday. We came out here to Chattanooga, Tennessee on Sunday. And then Corey and Jessy took off this morning, which is Monday. I'm here through Tuesday and then tomorrow. So it's been kind of a go. We did have a phenomenal little dinner if you're in the Chattanooga area last night at what's that place called?
Tailgate Brewery.
The Tailgate Brewery.
Tailgate Brewery, yeah. So you guys had all the beers. I just had a soda, but and the beers were I did waft a little bit of that fine aroma off of the foamy heads of the brew, but it was. It was good, but the food, food,
yes.
that was the pets. What do we have? A pesto
chicken pizza. Yep,
and
pesto pizza Hawaiian. Then they have different French fries there over waffle fries. So the one that we picked it had queso, mac and cheese, some other cheese, and something else.
And some onions.
So
and
they have all these
fries.
different themes.
It was all like drizzled
fries.
with a jalapeno nacho sauce, right?
Yes.
Over waffle
Yes.
fries. Like
it was.
Yeah, that meal itself.
So
and then
good.
we had some pastry thing.
Yeah.
We all rolled.
So we
out.
got to give a shout out. We got to give a shout out to our buddy Mr. Ian Johnson because he's the one that Jessy and I a number of years ago we went on a little adventure with him and we ended up in Chattanooga and stayed downtown Chattanooga and had a little whiskey distillery tasting, and then we went across to that place for dinner. And I Chattanooga is one of those places that we'd always driven through, but we never really stopped and spent any time there. But what a cool place. And it's got that hipster feel, and it's just it's unique. It's different than most places we go. So yeah, it was kind of a well-needed break after the event and whatnot. So yeah, shout out to Ian. He was actually filming I think last weekend, this week, so he couldn't make it down to see us. But yeah, those were his places, and he shared those with us.
Likely story. Oh yeah, I'm filming. Yeah, I'm filming.
Yeah, I'm filming. Sure.
You can't come by
we
and
want
see
proof.
Your friends because you're filming.
We want proof. I want to see the film.
Yeah, it's not like it has any presence online or TV or anything like that.
No.
Mr. Johnson. Mr. Big Wig Johnson.
Yeah.
It's not Big Tire Garage, it's Big Wig Garage.
Yeah.
Big
on the drive this afternoon late, Jesse was just perusing and searching for different things and came across 2 articles that were published. I think it's just so funny, it's hard to keep up with all of the outlets for folks to share information, right? So there's a lot of digital magazines, online magazines, individual blogs done by companies that share adventure stories and stuff like that. She found 2 instances. One was from the Bend, Oregon Off-Road Expo, the Pacific Northwest Expo, that has the your Gladiator on the front cover of it. And we'd not ever seen those things before. And then we came across
scrolling some more, and then they did an EJS, and we're on the Warn run, so our pictures are all over that one too.
Yeah, they've got the LJ in the on the Warn run from Easter Jeep Safari.
Yeah, all of this.
It's just, I mean, I don't know how people that are really out there keep track of where to go find information, and we'll put those links up on the Modern Jeeper Facebook page here in the next day or so. But just interesting.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
Okay. Your only source of information that you need is right here at ModernJeeper.com. Because if it's not there, it's not important.
Then it doesn't make the cut.
Jessy finds it and feeds it. And if it's not there, it's not important. I mean, let's face it.
That's right.
Right? I mean, it's easy. It's easy. And if you're not, and if you haven't shared this podcast, if you haven't subscribed to this podcast on video, if you haven't told your friends about this podcast, you're a very selfish Jeeper. Let me just say that.
Yes. You're
right?
very selfish.
You're being selfish. You're not being a modern Jeeper. Modern Jeeper is about sharing, about telling your
Share
friends how
sharing is caring.
Yes.
That's right. Sharing is caring. Yep.
But I'm not sharing.
Those are the little sayings that I hear from my son all the time now. Like the kids come home, sharing is caring, or you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. I like that one. Like learn that one from school.
Yes.
Every one thing from school, I'm like, yes, they learned something.
Purple dinosaur told us that caring is sharing. My kids know that. They roll their eyes every time I say it. Still, I say it.
Still. Well, caring, but caring is sharing. And you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
If caring is sharing caring?
You talking about caring about sharing? Did you say sharing or
no,
sharing?
I'm not sharing.
You're not sharing?
Sure not. No, I'm not sharing.
Yeah, you're sharing caring. It's important to share your care.
Yeah. See?
Isn't that a bear? Care Bear?
There was a man.
I keep seeing on Facebook from people that were in Pigeon Forge, the bears were out in droves, I guess, because I've seen at least 10 posts where bears are sitting in their Jeep from the top of their cabin or just hanging out in front of their cabin.
It's
crazy.
It's all the ducks. Bears
I
like
guess.
Ducks.
They were drawn to the ducks. They looked a little homeless.
Well, the bears looked like they needed a sandwich for sure. But I think it's funny because what happens is people, of course, are going to make the picture for the Instagram and they want to do the video. And so they call the bears closer and then they end up enticing it with food. And that's no bueno.
No.
Like, and
they
then,
killed for that.
Yeah, then the bears end up getting euthanized because they learn from that, and then they get themselves in trouble. So don't feed the bears. Really, don't feed the bears.
Sign. Don't be the fair. Don't bear the feed. Don't bear the feed. Don't feed the bears.
Don't feed the bears.
Don't feed the bears. don't feed the bear. Don't feed the beast.
Right.
And don't pet the fluffy cows.
Yeah. That came from Yellowstone.
What?
Or
Don't.
yeah.
You know, the videos
The buffalo.
of
The people
trying
going
to
up and
pet
trying to get a picture of a
That's right,
buffalo.
don't hit the
and
fucking
getting
cows.
rammed.
Yeah.
That's what it says on their brochure when you go into Yellowstone.
Don't
It's the
pet
front
the fluffy
page.
cows.
Do not pet the fluffy cows.
Speaking of bison, local goats. So we only had a chance really to go out to dinner one night. We did the thing last night, right? But we also, Corey, Jessy, and the team took me out to a place called Local Goat, which I didn't realize is a franchise because we saw another one. There's another one out here near Chattanooga or something like that. And Local Goat, cool American fare, right? I had the bison meatloaf. Now, it's kind of one of these things. I go out and I usually look for a steak or something like that, like something unique. Well, I had never seen a bison meatloaf, so I said, I'll try that. Amazing. But that is second to none to the deep fried eggs.
Deep fried deviled eggs. Deviled eggs.
I've had
What about
Scotch eggs.
the tomatoes?
We'll get to the tomatoes. But I've had Scotch eggs, right? You've had Scotch eggs, right? Which are it is an egg, hard-boiled egg covered with sausage and then deep fried. Those are amazing, right? Great beer food. But this was deep fried deviled eggs. Thank you, because I'm saying eggs, but it doesn't make any sense. But thank you, Jessy. Yeah, deep fried deviled eggs, where the white itself was deep fried. And then your deviled egg mixture, which in and of itself was tasty because that can be done really well and it can be done really bad. Pile on top. Then a little bit of hot sauce and a piece of bacon.
Yes.
Bacon.
Yes. Caramelized bacon.
That first bite of that, I was just like in heaven. I was like, my taste buds opened up and they exploded. Oh, it was amazing. And then, of course,
they do a good job.
The fried, I kept wanting to say the fried green eggs, but it was the fried green tomatoes were just amazing.
Yeah.
They do a good job, and we've been going there. We try to go once during our trip there. You're going to have to go back because you didn't get to eat breakfast at Five Oaks.
Yeah.
So Five Oaks is the place that is just. I mean, the breakfasts are amazing. Way too much food. I don't know how much food they actually waste. I can't imagine what they go through in a day. But the serving sizes are massive, and we took a cinnamon roll home and they put it in a box, and the box was like 10 by 10, and it's a cinnamon roll, just one,
and all the whipped cream.
Oh, it's crazy. But yeah, super good food. And I don't think we've eaten in Pigeon Forge and had it not be good food. They seem to have that kind of thing figured out.
During Jeep Invasion, it's so hard to get in anywhere, nevertheless get down the street.
Right.
So this year we had a kitchen, so we kind of cooked and.
Well, Philip kind of cooked.
Philip made some amazing food. B-Dubs gave us some good wings, so we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun. Well, it was good camaraderie too. Get out there and do that.
Yeah.
And, actually, after everybody worked so hard during the hot day. So, for all of you listening, obviously, if you haven't made it out and you're in this region, you haven't made it out to the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Club Invasion, you should do that. You should get out there and do it. Plan for next year. And then if you happen to have a Bronco and you're listening to the show, which I'm not sure why you would, but maybe some of you do listen to us because you just want to hear what great things we have to say. They are planning next year the Great Smoky Mountain Bronco Invasion. I don't know if they're calling it Bronco Club Invasion or just Bronco Invasion, but I think it's Great Smoky Mountain Bronco Invasion, which is like going to be the week after or something.
Something like that. I don't remember the dates, but yeah, if you Google it, I bet you can find them. I'm not gonna because I can't Google anything Bronco related.
Is it like what is I've seen like little, they're not ducks. They're like little, like My Little Ponies. Is that what they give to Bronco guys?
My Little Ponies.
It's the Bronco logo things.
Yeah.
Little horses.
I need to go find some because I'm going to do that.
Little horses.
I'm going to find some Broncos and put little ponies on it.
Little ponies on them.
Yeah.
I like ducks.
I don't know. I don't know if that's an official thing yet or not. So
Hey,
you might be careful putting a little. You might be careful putting a My Little Pony on a Bronco. Okay, you might just be careful. Don't be seen. It could just be like it's not a positive. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to see it.
But they have bronies.
What's a brony?
It's a boy pony. It's a brony.
It's a boy pony.
It's a brony.
Bronies before bros before.
And you have never seen the My Little Pony cartoons?
Bronies before ponies,
bronies.
Boy.
Yep.
If
Bronies
it's a lady, would it be a loney?
Oh, I just opened up a can of words.
Okay.
And if it's a brother, would it be a brony?
It's a brother.
Like
a brawny.
Brawny. Raw.
Like the paper towel. Yeah. Okay. Now we're just.
Okay. Well, I think we're going downhill fast.
Yes.
Obviously, it's late Monday night. We've been going. So, for all of our Modern Jeeper friends, just say thank you for spending some time with us. You know how to reach us: Matson at MetalCloak.com, Corey at MetalCloak.com, Jessy at MetalCloak.com. Of course, Modern Jeeper Adventures. I believe we got to get Death Valley November live, which will go here probably pretty soon. That's our next big adventure for the year, and then we go immediately from Death Valley live for those two events in November to Death Valley coming up, I think, in March for 2023. Yeah.
And I know that a lot of folks were headed from Smoky Mountain down to Sheriff's Jeep Fest down in Jasper, Georgia. A shout out to all those folks, and I hope it's a great event for everybody. I know there's a bunch of events on the East Coast, Oktoberfest and or Jeeptoberfest, and all that kind of stuff. Myrtle Beach and all those events are still coming up. So there's still a lot of stuff going on. And it's going to start to cool off, which will be really beneficial.
And also one of the events that we help with is Jeepers Back to Blue up in Dover.
Yes.
At the Speedway. It's bigger and bigger every year. So if you want to get on the Speedway with your Jeep and raise some money for some officers, then head on out there. We've got some good prizes in the raffle. So you should go see Jeff. It's pretty cool.
Not the two officers that were arrested at Vision Forge. Different.
No. I hope it works out for them. I hope they get their senses back and plea a deal. For that. I mean, but it was still proud to know that most Jeepers out there made the Jeep event with 25,000 people much better than any other car show they've ever had out there.
Yeah.
Without all of our friends out there, we love you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of the Modern Jeeper. Make sure to share it. That's right. Boom. Make sure to share this show, subscribe to the YouTube channel, all the good stuff that helps us, and give us reviews. And we're trying to get more diligent about answering your questions when you post stuff. And you can catch me on most mornings when I'm back into town on Mornings with Matsonia Live. Generally about 7:30-ish West Coast time. And outside of that, I just got to say, we'll see you on the trails.
Love you guys. Cheers.
See ya.